Yep. All right. I started. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I welcome you to today's meet, which is the Bincom community event. And we have with us today, we are talking about sustainable UX design. And we have our speakers ready to speak. Both the internal and the external speakers are ready to pass their knowledge to you. So we hope you sit back and enjoy the events. So we are going to call on the first speaker now, Mr. Osadome Ibi, to take the podium. Thank you, sir. And yeah, we can speak now.
Thank you very much. I want to confirm, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, can I share my screen also?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ibios Osadome. I'll be talking about sustainable user interface and experience design today. Giving a link to my screen.
All right, so
okay, please just let me know if that's my screen. You can just do a review. Thank you. Let me know if that's my screen.
yeah, we can see your screen.
Great, great. I want to assume that most of the people watching this live stream, most of them are designers or intending designers or professional designers. Let's say that. So, Bincom starts to talk about sustainable UI UX design. Sorry, the project of this platform of design. I'd like to hear your name. Hello?
Sir?
I'd like to know your name so I don't call you training at
Yeah, I'm totally aware.
Okay, thank you. So I'm talking about sustainable UI and UX. When I started researching about on this subject, so I can expand properly, break it down to topics or interests that I could explain. The first concept I wanted to explain is design, because most people in our space, in our tech space, see design as UI design or UX design, or graphic design. So it's common to limit design to that space, to that technology. And but then again, design is beyond the things that you see or the experience we get or the what do you call it, the graphics you see. I want to explain design. Hello? Say it's feedback somewhere. Hello, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, you said you can't hear you.
Who can hear me clearly? Those on the meeting or those on the stream, live stream?
On the meeting itself.
Okay. Is it the volume or you can just hear me as well?
I don't, please, if you can hear the speaker, please talk. Please, you can. Yeah, Michael, Majid, please, you can give a response so that we'll know if you can hear the speaker. Sophia, Victor, please, can you all hear the speaker speaking?
I can't hear him clearly. It's kind of echoing.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the same for everybody? Majid, is that the same experience you're having?
Yeah, same here, sir.
Okay. I'm going to take my microphone. Is it better now? Hello? Is it better now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's better.
Okay. So I'll maintain this microphone engaged. I hope can you hear surround sound? Because I'm in the office now.
Yeah, there are sounds too.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me go to different minutes. Hello,
Hello, can hear you, sir?
is it better now?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to move because of the environment. Okay, so let's go back. I have a little time, so let me just use the time I have. So like I said, the first topic I want to talk about is design. I know I think we're about 5 of us in this meeting. I'd like to know, what is your concept of design? What do you think design is? And I don't want to feel taxed or feel responsible. I mean, pressure to give me a textbook definition or Wikipedia definition. Just whatever comes to your mind, just let me know. What do you think design is? I'm waiting for at least 1 or 2 definitions. Anything that comes to your mind, anything. It doesn't have to be constructed.
Okay.
Hello?
Nobody has a
Yeah.
definition. It must be a
Hello?
definition. Anything. Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
So basically, design is a way of showcasing your product to me.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. One more example before we move forward. One more definition or suggestion before we move forward.
You can say design is like creating something.
Creating something. Yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you. I think that was to look object. Thank you. So that's your concept or your idea of design. Now I'm going to show you a couple of images or a couple of illustrations, and let me get your idea. Let me get your confirmation. I'm going to ask you a question. So this is the first one. Do you consider this to be design?
Yes.
Okay. How about this?
Yes.
Okay. It's just one person answering. What about this? Are these 2 designs?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is this design also? It's like this is more difficult. Do you consider this to be design?
I'm not sure. This looks like a picture. Just
Okay. Is this a design?
Yes.
no. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a design. It's a form of design.
Okay. Someone said no. Someone said yes. That's fine. Can you call this design?
It's more like an architectural design.
Okay. Is it a design?
No, it's a building. I'll call it a design.
Building. Okay. Is this a design?
Yes, it's a design.
Yes.
Why is this a design?
Firstly, I would say because it ends with the design, then these steps are like design processes.
Okay. Is this a design? When I mean this, I mean the person in this picture. Can you define the person as a design?
No.
Okay. Okay. One more. Can you see this onion cutter? Is that a design?
Yes.
Yes.
What about the plug? The power plug. Is that a design?
Yes, it is. Make it easier.
And the
Yes.
dispenser, is that a design also?
Yes.
You're reluctant. You're not sure.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about the
Okay,
stuff.
okay, fine. Everything I've shown you, they're all designs. Every single image I showed you guys, they're all designs. Now, don't be surprised. Of course, I knew that when I showed you this, immediately you say it's a design. Same thing with this. This also, it comes out as a design. Now, this is because most people in our space, they think of design in terms of graphic design, user interface design, user arts, and it's nobody's fault. It's just that it is a term. Design has been used, has almost been used. The term design has mostly been used to describe this kind of elements. And it's no one's fault. It's just that it's very easy to use design in that space and all. But design is way bigger than graphics, than illustrations, than animations. Design is way bigger. In fact, the term design is only borrowed into what we call graphic design, UI UX design, and all. Because you see that fashion design, and even this lady I showed you, I don't know how many of us are Christians here, but she's a design. She's a work of art. It was somebody made her or something made her. So it's still a design. You get now everything you see here, they're all designs. This image you can see of a building or an architectural floor is a design. It was created by someone. You get so design is not limited to a particular kind of art or a particular kind of graphics or discipline. No, it's wider than that. The concept I want to push out here is that there is something called thinking, design thinking, that helps every single discipline come up with a creation. So it's by design. I'm sure you have heard the term called life by design. Yeah, has anybody heard that term, life by design? Hello. Okay, let me assume somebody else. You may have heard it, or probably you hear it one day. It means that even your life, your own life, you can design your life the way you want it to be. You get so the basic learning, understanding here I want to get first of all is that design is way bigger than the term called graphics or user interface, user experience design. Yeah. So now let us go to what is design. Let's find a way to get a definition for design. Right? Show me that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, someone said, when I asked initially, someone said design is the creation or something, right? Somebody said design is creating. Yeah. I can't remember how it was phrased, but in my experience, there are several definitions of design. In fact, someone said design is a plan for arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish particular purpose. This is an American designer, architecture, and filmmaker. In fact, this is not a graphic designer or UI designer. This is totally out of that field. Design is a plan, first of all, for arranging elements in such a way that you want to, in the best way possible to fulfill a particular purpose, which is this is correct in its own term, its own field is correct. But then again, I've been trying to put design in a definition word that can encapsulate every single aspect of design. Now, I know we're talking about sustainable UI UX design, but it will be vain to talk about sustainable design without actually breaking down what design as a concept is. Yeah, do we agree? So
Yes,
this is my definition of design. Design is the creation of an experience. This is not the end of the definition though. but design is the creation of an experience. Now think of everything I've shown you, every single thing I've shown you. I showed you this. It's like an artwork. When you see it, it gives you a feeling, or it gives you a concept. It passes a message. When you see this is user interface design. When you interact with this, you're experiencing something. Same way, when you see this, it gives you a feeling. It gives you it's passing a message to you. It's when you immediately you see it, your mind is swallowing or receiving a message. With the message you're getting, you get that message from the colors used, the imagery, the text, the effects. All those things pass a message, gives you an experience. Same thing with this. This is design. I know when I go to this part, everyone, it's not design, it's just a picture. But this is design. In fact, you will see why I said this is design when I continue the definition. Then this is design. Because when you climb these stairs, you're experiencing the architecture used in bringing design to life. This is also design. It's a building, but it's designed by an architect or a construction or whoever to meet a particular purpose. So it's a creation to give someone an experience. You get now everything I've shown you, they are all design. So design is what? Is the creation of an experience. Not just that. Design is also the process of that said creation. Same way we have, those architectural works design, the image I showed to you that design, the creation of that process, the pathway, the process. I mean, the creation of the what do you call it? The process you use in creating that product or that solution is also design, because you design that process. I showed you a design project just now. Let me just slide back to that. This is my design process. Define, discover, research, ideas, and design. This is a process I use to create what solutions. And this process has been designed by me to what create solutions. It's also a design. This is going to be funny because it doesn't end there. So I said design is what creating is a creation of an experience. It's also the process of said creation. Design is also how well that particular process is organized. Lastly, design is also the results of that process. That is what we see, hear, and feel. That's what comes together to give you the experience. I don't know. I don't want to make sure. I don't want to drop anybody here. Are we following? Do you have questions? Is it clear? Do you think probably I should go back again or something?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay, great. So now that we've explained what now you want to talk about UI UX design. In fact, I'm sure everyone here understand what UI UX design is. Probably the short time I have now. I'm going to jump into sustainable UI UX design. Now, what's sustainable UI UX design? In fact, what's the about the term sustainable UI UX design? I'm sure if you've been hearing the news lately, especially from this year, you would have heard something about sustainability, climate change, a lot about ecology and all. There's no way you listen to the news or you're on Twitter, you haven't heard any of this term. And what need calls for these solutions, sustainability and what have you? Well, it's because of the way the world is going. When we are living on the planet, and somehow, because of the way the planet is becoming, we see the need to live more sustainably, to maintain or to extend the life of our planet. That's the truth. Carbon emission is destroying the planet. It's also causing the ozone layer to be depleted. So how do we live sustainably? How do we use products, live our lives, create, invent, innovate with the planet in mind, with the future in mind? That's what brings, give the need for sustainability in the whole, in that system. And it has dragged through several disciplines. And now we're not talking about sustainable design, not just sustainable UI design, but sustainable design. So what is sustainability? Today in the world, the word sustainability is, sustainability is really applied to define the process, measures, and actions through which humanity avoids the exhaustion of natural resources to maintain an ecological balance that doesn't allow the quality of life of modern society to decrease. I know that's a mouthful, but what it simply means is what are we doing to make sure that the natural resources we have, such as air, trees, the ozone, how do we make sure that we don't lose the value of these things? We don't lose it one day. How do we make sure that it doesn't allow the quality of life of our modern society to decrease? It's currently decreasing. So how do we contribute to make sure that it's not decreasing? That's basically the sustainability. So when it comes to UI UX design, it's now how do we contribute with our designs? And it's funny, you will ask, but so you mean my little design is affecting the carbon emission? My little design is affecting how people live their lives sustainably? Yes, it does. In fact, as a designer or as an intelligent designer, you must understand that you have a lot of influence when it comes to design, because you're designing solutions, you're designing products, whether it's physical or digital products, you're designing experiences. These experiences are what people use to live their life on a daily basis. For example, you design an app for a library app. That library app is what people will use to rent books in library, to read books in library, to return books in library. A lot of products we design today, or a lot of solutions we design today, even physical products, are used by common users, people that live their life daily. People that you see every day, and they use these solutions. So the thing is, how do I, in my little way, affect the way they live their life, or make them live their life either sustainably or more sustainably? It's a question. It's a very, very big deal. Sincerely, it looks small, but think about it. If every designer can think in this way, can think sustainably, and influence and let that thinking affect the way they create products, basically, a lot of solutions that the world uses today will have an effect on the life of our users. Simple. So because of time, I was able to break it down into very, very short breakdown, short lists on how designers can actually contribute. One, first of all, okay, before I go into, should I go into this? So in living sustainably, there's a social part, economic part, and the environmental aspects. But let's not go into that today. Let's talk about how do we designers contribute to the sustainability of the planet. That's what sustainable UI UX design is how we contribute. One, it's very, very simple. One, awareness. We designers, we create a lot of illustrations, marketing designs, graphic designs, arts. With illustrations, we can educate. With illustrations, we can influence our users, our audience, to live more sustainably. There are icons, there are illustrations we can design, even in our websites. You are working on a project that's for an NGO or for CSRO, you introduce this concept and to remind and to educate your users, your audience, on the importance of living sustainably and how to live sustainably. That's one way. Secondly, experience. Basically, the life of a designer is building experience, is designing experience. When you're designing physical products, digital products, you're designing an experience. Now, how do you design an experience that helps users live sustainably? Now, in this case, you're not just helping the users. Now, there's a website called websitecarbon.com. On websitecarbon.com, you can check the average CO2 emission being released by visiting a particular site. So the average website produces 1.676 grams of CO2 per page for a website. Now, it's funny, because a lot of people don't check these statistics. People don't even know that this exists. But for a website with 10,000 monthly page views, that is 211 kg of CO per year. You may not ask, where is this CO coming from? You're forgetting that your website that you're doing on your mobile phone or your laptop doesn't end there. It's coming from a particular server. And that server is coming from a particular server. And that server takes that data you're seeing on your phone or your website through several repeaters. Now, I don't know how many of us here have seen a server room or a data center. It is large.
Now, data centers, you have several servers in these data centers that are cooled on a daily basis. And it releases, some of these data centers releases a lot of heat. Now, you may not know, the normal user don't know these things. But as designers, when we get to understand these things, we now understand how we affect the sustainability or the CO2 emission in the planet. Maybe with time, when you have time, check out how, when you put in www.google.com, what happened between your websites or your phone and the data center where it's coming from. You see that the process is very long and it takes a lot of machines before it gets to your phone. So that's how this was calculated. So the average website produces 1.76 grams. So how do we now reduce the CO2 emission of a web page? How do we now reduce? One, there's several ways we are designing websites. In fact, it's very similar to accessibility design. I don't know, I mean, of us here know are familiar with accessibility design. That's one thing you can study. This is it. One, streamline user journeys. We all know what user journeys are, or if you don't know what user journeys are the pathways the user takes when they come to your site. Streamline user journeys. Reduce the number of pages a user has to go through to complete their goals, to accomplish their goals. For example, a user wants to come to your site to check their results. You don't have to take them to a result page. I mean, to the checking page, from checking page, confirmation page, from confirmation page to result page, then from result page to download page before they can actually see or get the result out of your website. You can reduce that experience, reduce that journey, make it shorter. Don't make the page load. Can that particular element of the page be animated to bring out the results instead of going to another page? So these are things you consider when you're building or designing an experience to make sure that, the user doesn't have to go through a lot of user journeys or pages to accomplish their goals, thereby reducing the CO2 emission from that particular website. Because it's more important to site that has a large amount of visitors, and you know that they're going to be using this page, you're going to be having a lot of site visits per, maybe 2 million site visits per month. These things are important. Secondly, use image efficiently. When you're building a website, in fact, this is basic. When you're building a website or you're editing websites, I know you're not a developer, but your images should not be high-res images. You can only use high-res images where it's needed. Images can be compressed, heavily compressed. Also, when it comes to using image efficiently, you use image at certain areas where you have to use images, and then you don't have to use image all the time. That's why you say use image efficiently. There are certain things you want to come across, message you come across. You can use illustrations, you can use a vector that will cost less, that will load up less than image. Same thing with the third point, use an image size, compress your images. We have several compression formats now. We have WebP, which is the lowest format. Then video files. When you use video files, use accessibility, what do you call it? Comfort video files. Don't avoid video formats that will be large, or audio formats that will be large. They take time to load. The more time it takes to load, the more work the server is doing, and the more CO2 is being emitted. Now, it's funny how this relationship works, but it's real. It's very real. Then use lower energy colors. When you're designing, you don't have to use vibrant colors all the time, except when needed. The time you want to use them, but use it when needed. This is the reason why even on your phone, you will notice your phone uses more energy when it has to show vibrant colors or bright colors. Your phone uses more energy when you have to do that. Same thing when you're loading the website. It uses more time, where more energy goes into that, more effort goes into that. So the more we follow these guidelines, it helps reduce the emission of CO2. Now, it's funny how short this thing is. How little. It's little, but if you can apply this to several websites that are across the internet today, it will be the result, the cumulative result will be a lot. Yeah. So this is why I drew the line today. Do you have any questions? I think I've just used 32 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. If you don't understand anything, let me draw my attention back.
Yes, I have a question, sir. You mentioned low energy colors.
Yes.
What do you mean by that exactly? By low energy colors?
Okay. So can you see my presentation? if you see my presentation, you will notice that I've used basically like 3 or 4 colors. And every single color you can see, they are low energy colors. You don't, it's light on the eyes, one, and it's not super vibrant. Yeah. The difference between the colors, the text colors are very, very close. So these are low energy colors. I'm going to change, can you permit me? I'm going to change this color. Can you see my screen? What can you see my screen now?
Yes, you have a screen.
Can you see what's on the screen? Let me know the screen you can see. Just call anything on the screen for me.
Experience.
Good. Now I'm going to change this color and immediately tell me how you feel. I want somebody to immediately respond to me. Tell me how you feel. Can anybody respond?
Red. It's kind of red.
Can you see? How do you feel?
Yes.
Now, this kind of color
is too sharp.
is too sharp.
And it's not clear. The letters are not clear, kind of.
Even if I change the electrons now to black and all, it's still the energy is a lot.
Yeah.
That's why now these are not bad colors. They're not bad colors anyway. But it's just that these colors are used mostly in marketing for high in marketing for adverts. You want to get attention. You're demanding people's attention. You want to call attention. Also, you want people to respond. You want to get people to take an action. So you use such colors, maybe depending on your brand colors, you get. But when it comes to UI UX, it's not necessary. You don't have to do all that, except it's important. It's heavily important. You can achieve. There was a time I saw a UI design, and it wasn't even just UI design. It was already a busy application, and the application was in black and white. I loved it. I loved it. It was not just black and white. It was grayscale. I loved it because not the elements were not fighting for my attention. I could know what to do immediately. The cognitive load on me was very little because everything was clear. The elements on the page were very few. The main call to action was clear. In UI UX design, simplicity matters. There's a quote, there's a book called About Face by Alan Cooper. Alan Cooper was one of the first designers. In fact, the term we use for user interface design, user experience design, he was him and some others. Then when Microsoft started, that created those terms, user interface design. In fact, it was called interaction design. Then interaction design. Most people call it interaction design now. Now he said something about design. He said, when you do design, keep on remove. When you're done with the design, for example, you feel like you're done. Start removing elements from that design. Start removing elements from that design. One element after the other. Good afternoon. And if why are you doing that? If the design breaks, that means this design doesn't make sense again. As in, it's not actually fulfilling the purpose for your design. That is, the user cannot do anything, cannot complete its goal with the design. Like let me go back again. Remove elements from design. You are finished designing. See what you can remove. Now, at the point of you removing, and you remove something, say, oh no, it doesn't work again. That last thing you remove, put it back and leave like that. That's the design you need. Do you know why? When you remove elements, you're starting to remove things that are not necessary. The more you remove and design is still working well, as in it still works well, it's still functional. Keep on removing. That point where it's no longer functional. The last thing you remove, put it back. And when you put it back, it's functional. Everything you remove before then, just leave them out. They are unnecessary. Or they can be replaced with something lesser. Simple. So the goal is minimalistic designs. Sincerely. So that's what you apply to have a sustainable UI user process. Yeah. Did I answer the question properly?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
I don't think, do anybody have any question for the speaker? All right. If there are questions, you can keep it till when the second speaker speaks finished. Then we will take all the questions. So I think the second speaker can go on and speak now. So
Yes,
we
yes,
ask,
yes.
as we ask Mr. Moji Debiton to take the podium.
Thank you.
So can you stop sharing your screen? Thank you. All right, thank you. So Majid, you can start speaking now. Sorry. Hello, Majid. How are you doing?
I can hear you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adekunle, and I want to take us through the second part. Thank you, the first speaker. He actually thought of so many things about sustainable UI UX design. He talked on the what's it called? He asked another aspect. So I would like to take us through the second aspect of this topic. So I'll be sharing my screen now so we can all follow through. Do you have my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Can you enlarge it to make it bigger? Yeah, perfect. Can continue. Oh, it has gone back again.
Okay. So do you have my screen outside?
Yeah, we have. Thank you. Can go on.
Okay. So firstly, this is the content of my presentation. I would like to take us through the introduction, the approaches for a sustainable UI UX design, then appreciation, then the questions. From my research, I got to understand that everything in this life has to, for a way, it has to be sustainable. So you don't actually need to wait for until that thing is out of use or is being going extinct before we look for a way to sustain it. So I got, let's just start from the meaning of sustainability. So for definition purpose, I just got that it's the ability of a subject to be maintained at a certain period of time. Then when we talk about UI UX design, I guess most of us must have, from what the first speaker said, we delve into it very much. I guess we should understand what UI UX design is. But let me just say this. UI UX design is the act of creating an interface of a website or an app that can make the user of a website of an app have a good experience while using the product. The basic fact of every designer is to create an experience that is useful and that makes the user feel very much. You have to make your user feel good about your product. That's just the basic truth about UI UX design. So the next thing is, how do we curtail sustainability and UI UX design? So I got to understand that it's the ability of making a UI UX design process to be relevant considerably over a long period of time in making the user have a good experience. As I've said earlier, you need to make a user have a good experience. So for this to happen, UI UX design has to be sustainable enough so that it doesn't go extinct. I understand there are so many programs, apps that are trying to like work the same way UI UX design works, but it doesn't mean you still have to sustain UI UX design. So that is why we need to sustain UI UX design. So going forward, I got to understand that from my research, I got an approach to how making UI UX design sustainable. And permits me to do this. This is like a psychology aspect of design. We are trying to understand human beings using the product. So we need to understand the psychology of how human beings feel about a product, what makes them change from a product to another. So based on this, I got about 5 theories, 5 approaches to make UI UX design sustainable. So from my list, I have the nudge theory, hooked model, mindful design, theory of interpersonal behavior, then the theory of model of behavior change. So we have to take this one after the other. What do I mean by nudge theory? Nudge theory is when an individual's choices is easily manipulated without considering the effect of that choice. I want us to look at this image I put here. look at this picture of the man that is being pushed. Then look at the picture, a screenshot of the WhatsApp page, WhatsApp screen, sorry. What I'm saying here is that when we are talking about a nudge theory, there is this inherent character of human being to be pushed, as in to be manipulated. When an human being has so many options, you see this, you see that, there is tendencies for you to be manipulated to do what you don't necessarily want to do, but because you see the option, let me try this, let me try that. That's what we call nudge theory. Then looking at this screen now, this is an updated, this WhatsApp screen. It's an updated screen of WhatsApp. You can see from here that there's a camera button which suggests status when you want to change or update your status on WhatsApp. Then there's another component there written in status. When you want, it's still the same thing of when you want to change when you want to update your status. For me, I would say this is kind of tautology, or if I were to review this design, I would say if this icon of camera is there, which is stating that you can change the status.
Mr. Bincom, please, can you on your video for us, please?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. Do you have my video, sir? Sorry, I need to go back to. So when as I was saying, this status, like when you want to change your status, you don't necessarily need to go back to this status. For example, now you don't wish to change your status, or you don't need to check anybody's status. It's easily done by not going through this place. But when you have this other icon here, it's telling you that even though you don't want to do it, but there's an option of doing it. So you feel like doing it. So it's a way of nudge that they're kind of pushing you to do what you don't want to do. That's kind of like manipulating people. For me, it's a red flag in this UI design, which I would not recommend. That's for nudge theory. So switching back, then we have the model. This is another approach of understanding human being, why they use the product. Then there's a first step to this model. We're saying a first step model that describes how to build habits from a product by building a sustainable habit. So these steps include trigger, action, variable reward, and investment. What do I mean by trigger? Trigger is when there is need for something and you feel like, I want to do this thing. Then you are triggered to do it. Then the second step is taking action. Then the action step is when you actually do what you want to do. Then the third step is variable reward. Variable reward is simply saying the effect of the action you have taken. That's what we mean by variable reward. Then investment is saving the first three process as if like it becomes an action. So anytime you feel the need for doing that same action, you have invested this first three. So you can easily go back to the first three so as to feel whatever, so as to do whatever you feel like doing when that need arises. That's what we talked about model. Then the next slide is mindful design. For a designer, you don't need to do too much. Every design has to be simple and small so that users can make simple choices. It has to be straight and forward. Just like the first speaker said, you have to take users through so many journeys before they can actually do what they want to do. Streamline the user journey so that it makes the experience at least simple enough, then comfortable enough for them. That's what we mean by mindful design. For definition, I said mindfulness in design is defined as the optimal interaction between attention and awareness. Then finding a balance to how you make your designs. Naturally, every user has an intention of why he or she is visiting your site or your app. But while using your app, they are expecting something. So you don't need to make it look so difficult while they are using the product. So you just have to keep it simple and straight. That's what we call mindful design. Then the next thing is theory of interpersonal behavior. I guess most of us must have understood how Instagram and LinkedIn work. LinkedIn kind of is like a professional website, while Instagram is like a gyration website or something like that. So there's a way you will react in Instagram that is not necessarily available on LinkedIn. So the designers of these two separate apps or websites, they make it so, let me not say they make it so much that LinkedIn is for professional based, while Instagram is like for marketing and all that, not professional. So we can't say you don't have the opportunity to do what you wish to do on Instagram, on LinkedIn as you can do on Instagram. That's what we call theory of interpersonal behavior. So in designing, you need to understand, who am I designing for? What do they want? How do I want them to react on this design? How do I want them to experience the design? So that's how making your design sustainable. Then the next thing is trans-theoretical model of behavior change. This is like a complement of the previous slide. As we all know now, there are some effects on LinkedIn that is not there before, but because they try to make it easy, as friendly as possible, not too professional in quotes. So just to allow more people or something like that. So there are some features now on LinkedIn that was not there before that has been added, such as like what it's called, this fire emoji, which is usually not there before, but can be seen there now. They are just trying to balance it so they don't make it look too serious, too professional, that people on Instagram won't feel comfortable using the app. So, and there's stages of doing this thing. So one of the stages is called pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is you're already nurturing the idea of doing that, or you have not concluded. Then contemplation is when you actually stand on the idea of, this is what I want to do. Then preparation is preparing for that idea, while the action is taking action. There is taking step on maintaining that idea. Then maintenance is actually keeping track of that action, like making sure it's exactly the same way you want it. Then termination is keeping sure that the maintenance is in space. Then in conclusion, I would like to say that UI design can be sustained for a very long time, because you cannot say just because we are on some products, just like Office 365 now, it has some apps that can do the same thing as a UI designer can do. So, but depending on this thing, depends on the type of product or the type of user you are trying to interact with. So the UI, I would say UI design is sustainable in our environment. Thank you very much. So if there's any questions, I would like to hear from you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mojit. Thank you, Mr. Osadome. So now, this is the point where we ask questions about what we've been taught today. So if you have questions for the speaker, you can ask your question now. They'll take your questions. So if you have questions, you can ask. And if you don't have questions, say you don't have any question, so we can move on. Mike, Adeyemi, is there a question from your end? Sophia, is there a question?
Afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sophia.
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
Okay, my own question is, I want to know the in-depth of the sustainable UI design. So more of, I just need another way to understand the concept of that sustainable. What that sustainable inside that UI design. I'm the first speaker.
All right, Mr. Osadome, I think the question is directed to you. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I think Sophia has a question. You're asking what does term sustainable mean in the whole phrase sustainable UI UX design, right?
Yes.
And now, is it on its own or how it affects UI UX design? Hello?
Yes, yes.
No, I mean, I'm asking, is it the
Yes,
term, the
yes.
meaning of sustainability on its own, or how it affects UI UX design?
Yes, that is what we do at UX.
Okay. So when it comes to sustainability in UI UX, talking about how we design and how we can create awareness to influence our users, take measures to live sustainable lifestyle. That's one. Then it also affects the way we design solutions and products. When I mean solution and product, I don't just mean digital solutions or digital design. It's also talking about physical products because UX is not aligned only to digital products. It also affects, like I said, UX is business experience. So when it comes to sustainability in UX, it also affects how we design products. So help the users live a sustainable lifestyle as well as reduce CO2 emission. Because it's not just the app itself or the solution itself, it also affects how the data centers, the hardware used, and which has between data centers and your phone. Yeah. So in that aspect, sustainability in UI UX design is also similar to accessibility in UI UX design. Yeah. I hope I didn't. You don't mind if you don't honest for me to have your okay. I hope I didn't confuse you. My explanation. I hope you got that. It helps clarify your question.
Sophia, did they answer your question?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, thank you. So yeah, is there any other person with a question? All right, if there are no questions, thank you for joining today's event. Thank to the speakers for passing knowledge to us. A lot of knowledge have been gained by everyone here. We really appreciate your time taken to pass this knowledge to us. And yes, so if there is a way we can reach out to you, we'd like you to like maybe drop your LinkedIn profile or maybe your Twitter account, Instagram, where we can follow you in case we want to have more information about UI UX in general. So you can please maybe help us drop your information. That's to the external speaker, Mr. Osado Nebia.
Okay, I'll just drop them in chat so that you can anyone can reach out to me. My Instagram handle, my email address. I hope because once you close this chat, I don't think it's available. Once you close the meeting or the stuff, I don't think it's available anymore. So once I drop it, you can copy it immediately. So you don't lose.
All right.
Yeah,